Welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio from Taatjes Financial Group. Taatjes Financial is a company that specializes in helping retirees and pre-retirees build purposeful retirement plans. Custom plans that not only help clients steward their treasure, but their time and talent as well. They believe that if you're taken care of financially, you go even further to make the family, community, and kingdom impact you truly desire to make, which is the ultimate purpose of wealth. If you'd like to set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting with one of their financial advisors, give them a call at 222-4236. You can request a meeting at taatjesfinancial.com or simply stop by their office on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. I'm your host, Ben Taatjes, and once again, joined by one of our advisors, something that we changed here a few months back, where I'm doing the hosting, and we're joined by one of our talented advisors here on the team today, Matt Hoekstra. Welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
Yeah, it is, and you and I have been talking a lot lately about client interactions and how we tie, kind of the psychology of money and really just psychology in general. How people think and how the current market environment impacts the quality of life that someone has. And last week we talked at length with Tim Mattern about kind of trying to get people to focus less on the big overall economy with tariffs and everything else that's going on, and focus on their own little economy, where the things they can control, such as their spending, getting a budget together, how much debt load they've got, getting a handle of their personal finances. Today, I want to take a little bit different. We're going to stay, again, very timely with the content that we're talking about today, because the markets have been so volatile, but specifically with your background in I think you're kind of a mindset guru. Like one of the things that you're so good at with your clients is walking people through how they're feeling, asking the right questions, and getting down to helping them see the situation they're in through a different lens. Mm-hmm. Maybe walk me through, one of the conversations, even before jumping on the air, that you and I had about, a client interaction that you had, kind of how you were able to kind of reframe how they looked at the situation that they're in.
Yeah, and I would say my strength probably is less, getting people to identify how they're feeling, and more so just how their mind, how their thought processes impact their overall quality of life. So, we've had a lot of interactions with clients, and they'll come in and they'll say things like, well, what are we going to do now that, Social Security is getting cut, or things of that nature. And it really doesn't matter necessarily what your political views are. I think we've seen the news and politics influence decision making on both sides. And I think what I've seen in the last few months, especially, it's been a theme over the last few years, and I've kind of seen it more and more. But I think people that struggle in life with just fear or anxiety or worry are focusing solely on one thing and almost hyper focusing on that.
So focusing so much that it becomes almost, am I saying it right, a bigger deal than the thing itself?
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah. So there was a study done on the Boston Marathon bombings, and the study showed that prolonged media exposure to the bombing created more acute stress than actually being at the bombing. And so kind of that you look at the power of the mind and its ability to create, stress and just really decrease the quality of life. And so I've seen that with politics. I've seen that with, when people focus too heavily on politics, when they focus too heavily on the high water mark of their accounts, whether that's their bank account, their investment account, their coffee can that they have stashed in the backyard. If they focus too much on that and put too much meaning on that, it can really cause them to struggle.
Yeah, it's about controlling the actual effect on somebody. Yeah, what you just said, I think, needs to be highlighted in light of the current market environment we're in, where, again, we talked about it last week with Tim. It's if you are basing how well you're doing, like mentally, on how well the market's doing, you're bipolar. Right, what we're seeing right now is this market gyration up, down. And if you're focusing on that so much, and that's your singular point of focus, you're going to really, it's going to be a detriment to your overall quality of life. And it may not need to be, right? How many times haven't you sat with a client where they come in and they're concerned and they're worked up about some specific thing? I've had those too. Like last week, I had a client come in and they're expecting the worst because all of the media is highlighting the negative aspect of, you know, what the markets have done the last couple of days. And then they pull open their stuff. They're like, wow, am I down 20%? I'm like, well, no, Mr. and Mrs. Client, you have a diversified portfolio. You've got a financial plan that is prepared for market cycles like this. If anything, the best thing we can do is look at this as an opportunity. Where can we like shift somebody's mindset to think opportunity when these things happen? I know you're good at that as well. Maybe highlight an opportunity that this has created in what we're seeing today.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one of the challenges that we face as advisors is when the markets are doing well, people are like, yeah, we want to take risk, we want to do this, we want to see that stuff just grow exponentially, and we have to kind of say, all right, but there's going to come a time when, you know, we see volatility. And after getting to know you for the last 10 years, I know that that's going to create more stress for you than it's going to be worth taking on higher levels of risk. And so the opportunity is to say, okay, now we've gone through this volatility. How does this sit with you? Are you losing sleep over that? Are you feeling like I'm going to wake up and see a huge significant piece of my portfolio down? And if the answer is no, well, then maybe we can take on more risk. Maybe when the market's down, you could do something like that. Or you could take it as an opportunity to say, you know what? We're still on track with our plan, even not taking on tons of risk.
Are you okay with that?
Are you okay with that? And they may say, yeah, you know what? I'm glad we're not taking on, you know, more risk than we are. And the plan that we have is working.
Yeah, I love that. And I think overall it comes down to having a sound financial plan, sticking to that, and then taking advantage of these opportunities. So again, today happens to be April 15th. It's a tax deadline. Rarely do we get this show on the 15th. So of course, if you haven't done the important things that you had to do to finalize your taxes at the time of airing, you probably missed the deadline. But anyways, until next time, have a great week.
Do you need ways to help steward your time, your talent, and your treasure? If so, Taatjes Financial Group can help. Now is the time to set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting. You can do this one of three ways. Number one, give them a call right now at 222-4236. You can request a meeting online at taatjesfinancial.com, or you can just stop by their office located on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer. I'm Jared Sebesta. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. We'll see you next time.
Securities offered through Avantax Investment Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Avantax Advisory Services. Insurance services offered through an Avantax affiliated insurance agency.